You know guys, I thought that Void Titan was done for after the Hoyle nerfs, but if you take a quick look at my abilities, you will know how wrong I was. With a couple of sacrifices, mod stacking and changes, we can literally get an infinite spam of abilities, and not just any abilities, but empowered and hard hitting ones. Today I'll be teaching you the ways of the Void Titan, which in my opinion is a very fun and even endgame worthy build. With Lightfall also came the Heart of Venmos Light nerf, which, let's be honest, screwed up Titans really hard. However, Lightfall also brought a lot of mod stacking that couldn't be done in the past, opening new doors and possibilities for our builds to evolve. I am referring to being able to use mods like Bomber, Utility Kickstart and Outreach all in the same armor piece, allowing for our barricade to not only reduce its own cooldown, but also the cooldown of our grenade and melee all at the same time. This is huge for us Titans since we spam our barricade all the time as it has an incredibly short cooldown. Tied to the barricade, we also have mods that reduce its cooldown even further. For example, bolstering detonation and focusing strike, allowing us to get our barricade even faster, which then would provide energy back to our melee and grenade ability. You guys can see where this is going. However, when you thought that the rotation was already very solid, we still need to take a look at our aspects and fragments, which play a huge role in this build. For starters, offensive bulwark drastically increases our grenade recharge rate when we have an overshield, which we will be having all the time since we obtain it whenever we place or stand behind our barricade, thanks to our second aspect, Bastion. We also can't forget about our shield throw melee, which also provides us with an overshield when hitting enemies. To top this off, our fragments Echo of Provision, Exchange and Starvation will provide us with even more grenade and melee energy, allowing us to spam them even more often. And you guys already know what those two abilities are linked to, our barricade, which when used also gives us grenade and melee energy. So as you can see, the loop just keeps on going and going. And what better exotic to pair this up with than Heart of Venmos Light, which will not only make our abilities hit harder and our barricade have more health, but it will also boost the regeneration rate, allowing us to spam them even more often. Now, before we get any deeper, I want to give a quick shout out to Apex Gaming PCs, which I have worked with to make my own personal PC line, which is now available for you guys to check out. You can customize the PCs as you please, and remember, you can also use my discount code TREY for up to $250 discount. But there's one more thing that you can do to take this build to its absolute limits. Use a weapon with either Demolitionist, Wellspring or Repulsor Brace. These three perks are the cherry on top. You don't need them, but having them will make the build even stronger. A perfect example is this Unforgiven with Repulsor Brace and Demolitionist that you can obtain from Duality. Harsh Language is also an excellent wave frame grenade launcher that rolls with Repulsor Brace and Wellspring, but it is not as easy to farm compared to Unforgiven. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested in farming gold rolls in dungeons or raids, then make sure to join my Discord as we are constantly doing stuff like that. No experience required. Let's move on to the aspects, fragments and mods that we are going to be using with this build. Stat wise, you want to prioritize resilience, followed by discipline and then recovery. On your artifact, you want to have authorized mods Void, Grenade, Volatile Flow, and then Bricks from Beyond. Ability wise, we are using Rally Barricade for the shorter cooldown, Shield Throw, and then Vortex Grenades. Aspect wise, we have Offensive Bulwark, which is going to increase the regeneration rate of our grenade whenever we have an overshield. Bastion is going to allow us to generate an overshield for us and our allies whenever we cast our barricade. Fragment wise, we are using Echo of Exchange, which provides us with grenade energy whenever we get final blows with our melee ability. Then we have Echo of Provision, which is going to give us melee energy whenever we damage targets with our grenade. And finally, Echo of Starvation for that Devour buff whenever we pick up an Herb of Power. Mod wise, we are starting on our helmet and we are going to be using Void Siphon to generate orbs of power on void weapon kills, combined with hands-on and ashes to assets to gain super energy on grenade and melee kills. On our gauntlets, we are using grenade kickstart for that extra grenade energy whenever we use our grenade, followed by firepower so we can make orbs of power with our grenade, and then bolstering detonation so we can get class ability energy when we damage enemies with our grenade. If you are confident at making orbs with your void weapon, or your teammates are making a ton of orbs, then you can switch the firepower for focusing strike, which will also grant you class ability energy when you hit an enemy with your melee ability. On our chestplate, we are using charged up, that way we can have more stacks of armor charge. Then we are using concussive dampener and sniper damage resistance just for the extra damage reduction. On our leg armor, we are using stack on stacks, which is going to provide us with 1 extra stack of armor charge whenever we pick up an herb of power. Combine that with innervation and recuperation for grenade energy as well as a heal whenever we pick up an herb of power. Finally, on our class item, we are using utility kickstart, which is going to provide us with class ability energy whenever we use it. We combine it with bomber and outreach, that way our barricade, our class ability, also provides us with grenade and melee energy when we use it. Weapon wise, you can use your favorite void weapon, but I suggest sticking with weapons that have either demolitionist, wellspring or repulsor brace. Either one of these weapons are top tier for this build and they're gonna aid you in spamming even more abilities. Before the Hoyle nerfs, in order to play the build efficiently, you had to time your abilities and use them as the buff was about to expire. Unfortunately, this season our time got halved and we only have 5 seconds to time them, meaning there's more room for mistake, but it also means that you can pretty much spam them one after another and you won't be missing out on as much as you will have before the nerfs. The principle stays the same. You want to use one ability and wait about 3 seconds before you use your next one. That way the abilities stay empowered for as long as possible, and we can take advantage of the increased recharge rate that our exotic provides. We start the rotation with our grenade, followed by our barricade and then our melee. After that you simply start using whatever comes up first to try and maintain the empowered buff. Don't be afraid to spam your super, since you will be getting it back extremely quick with this build. Also, when you use your super, you instantly get your grenade back, meaning that you can throw your grenade down, pop your super and then instantly throw another one. Lastly, try to always keep up your overshield, because this will be increasing your grenade recharge rate, allowing you to spam the grenades more often. And that's about it guys, thank you so much for watching today's video and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.